Before U.S. Air Force aircraft could take off, U.S. President Donald Trump's hopes of making a diplomatic breakthrough with Iran came crashing down. Round two of Iran-U.S. talks did not take place in Islamabad. A lot of developments unfolded behind the scene, though, which forced Trump to extend the ceasefire on Iran. According to ABC, at the very last minute, hours before the 12-day ceasefire between the two nations was about to expire, Iran stopped responding to the United States. The communication lag reportedly became impossible to ignore. And according to this report, in the days leading up to the end of the ceasefire, U.S. floated a list of broad points it hoped Iranian officials would approve before a second meeting in Islamabad. Both sides were seen swapping messages and proposals. But as the deadline was just moments away, Iran still had not submitted a response to the administration's list or provided any assurance that it would send a high-level delegation to the talks. The report mentions that at this point, Air Force Two, which had been ready to fly Vice President J.D. Vance to Pakistan, had been sitting empty on a Joint Base Andrews tarmac for hours. The government plane scheduled to carry the other lead negotiators, Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner, had been redirected to Washington so all three could huddle at the White House with the president and his other top advisors. It was then that the U.S. president elected to give diplomacy more time to play out. The U.S. president then took to Truth Social announcing his decision to extend the ceasefire until what he called seriously fractured government Iran could submit a unified proposal. The Trump administration has reportedly assessed that fractures among Iran's leadership are behind the lack of response to its proposal terms. Washington has serious concerns about the regime's ability to unify behind any diplomatic agreement with the United States, and has been undercurrent through the negotiations following the outbreak of war with Iran. The major gaps between the two nations are linked to two issues. First is about Iran's stockpile of highly enriched uranium, and second is whether Iran will be allowed to enrich uranium in the future and under what conditions. President Trump also appeared to be downplaying the idea that time pressure was at play in the negotiations, but did imply that the ongoing U.S. naval blockade of Iranian ports would bring the regime to the table. The U.S. military has seized another tanker associated with the smuggling of Iranian oil in the Indian Ocean, ratcheting up a standoff with the Islamic Republic. This comes a day after its paramilitary Revolutionary Guard took control of two vessels in the critical Strait of Hormuz.